Konnichiwa, my name is Kaori Nagao, your Las Vegas lifestyle specialist. Today, my broker Randy Char and I will be going over the 2020 recap, as well as the 2021 January market update, and discussing about the high-rise market in Las Vegas. Randy, how are you doing today?
Excellent.
We are here at beautiful 1 Queensridge Place.
Absolutely.
And look at this stunning kitchen behind us. Wow.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing. This is not what you see every day. This is, the tower is opulent, it's rich. It's really one of the most luxurious towers probably in the West Coast. But what's nice is sometimes you see people's interpretation of what the inside of the place would look versus what the building looks like. So this particular resident really went over the top. Everything from the hardwood floors to the custom countertops, the meticulous details of the design of the furniture. It's just so perfect. So I'm so happy that we get this as a backdrop.
Absolutely.
And of course you can get more information on this home on our website.
Yes, we'll have a video of this particular unit 204 coming soon on our channel. So please make sure you watch that video as well. So today we wanted to first start off with the 2020 market update and then go into January and then talk about high-rise, which we specialize in at Char Luxury.
Can't wait to hear it.
All right, so starting with the 2020 year-end review, the Las Vegas market, total units sold were 31,642 units, and percentage different from 2019 was up 0.5%. Median price was 330,500, and then percent difference from 2019 was up 8.5%.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like the overall amount of absorptions in terms of unit count was relatively stable, but it really wasn't. If you look behind the scenes, it wasn't like this kind of consistent curve or some adjustments for seasonality. This year was totally different, right? With COVID, we went from starting off the year, frankly, pretty strong, and then all of a sudden dropped. And then around August, September, started climbing back out. And towards the end of the year, it got very hot. Yes. So net, we're all about the same. So the result of that, though, as you can see, the appreciation overall at 8.5% has been robust in the city, to say the very least. And going into 2021, you're seeing a lot of the same continued momentum.
Absolutely. Low inventory, driving the prices up.
Correct. And
then looking at our luxury market, which is $1 million and up, total units sold 2020 was 748, and it was a percent difference from last year was 43.02%. Median price was 1,418,630, and percent difference from 2019 was 5.08%.
Again, here's the difference. The luxury market took off huge towards the last part of the end of the year. In fact, if you recall from the last update, November month over month and December month over month were up around 100%, as I recall, in units absorbed. Appreciation 5% doesn't really tell the whole story, because obviously when the market went down, the luxury market tends to go down more.
Yes.
But it balanced out towards the end of the year where things really started picking up. Yes. And this year we're seeing a lot of the same.
And in our previous video, Randy, we talk about how the different market segment, the luxury market versus like the move-up market, how they act differently and how they behave differently, right? Okay,
so again, you're right. The different segments don't all act the same at the same time, right? So the luxury market, I think what happened, as we talked about, went down during COVID a little bit more drastically than the single family home market, which was already low supply. As we were coming out towards the end of the year, the luxury market really took off. Prices went up a lot higher, and going into this year, it is really on fire. I mean, that's why the total difference at 43% is an alarming increase.
Yes.
But to see it right now, you're seeing floods of people from California. You're seeing a lot of people move up, still taking advantage of those interest rates, or they just feel more confident that, that they see the light at the end of the tunnel with this whole thing. I think it's very positive for Vegas.
Wonderful. So now market update for January 2021. We had a total of 2,640 units sold, up 15.5% from this is 2020. And then median price was 345,000, up 13.1% from last year.
Right, pretty much the same story. The market supply is low. a lot of buyers out there. The climate, if you live it day by day, is somewhat frenzied, to be quite honest. So I think it's going to be interesting to talk about, how do you get ahead of the curve? I mean, we know it's no secret that the market is hot, but how do you address a hot market? How do you deal with navigating through this, which is something we can discuss further.
Absolutely. And then the luxury market, 1 million plus, we had a total of 81 units sold, up 102.5%. Median price at 1.53 million, up 5.5%.
Right, just a continuation of last year. We're moving rapidly. What will be interesting to see is how the luxury market continues to play out, because if the supply keeps shrinking, there's only so many homes out there that you can buy. Right. So I'm wondering if the statistics will show these type of 100% increases next month, the following month, and thereafter. So
it'll be really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And then because we are going to be talking about the high-rise market, I wanted to share with you the high-rise 750K and up. For the month of January, there were only 5 units sold, which is down 16.6% compared to 2020. And the median price is about 1.554, which is, here it shows that it's up 27.8%, but maybe you could talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, the sample size is obviously not large for January. There wasn't a lot of closings. Basically, if it's 5 and it's down 16%, quick math tells you there were 6 last year. So it just depends on which 6 and which buildings. I will share with you this. Overall, high-rise sales have slowed quite a bit from last year, but in 2021, we are starting to see signs of it picking up. We'll see if it actually kind of recovers to the levels that it was pre-COVID.
Yeah, and Randy, talk to us. Why was there a decline or a slowdown in high-rise sales, especially last year with COVID?
A few reasons. Number one, living in tighter quarters, one of the reasons why people love high-rise is to use the amenities to engage the lifestyle component that high-rises have to offer. Well, during COVID, a lot of buildings had different kind of rules, whether you could use the amenities, the pool, the spa, whether the pool is open. In some places they have eating cafes, and I think that affects their lifestyle. And so people didn't feel as comfortable in that environment, and therefore the trend was to move from high-rises into single-family homes. Number two, high-rises for many are a discretionary purchase. What do I mean by that? Let's say you have a family from California or a retired couple, they may want a second home in Vegas. They're not moving right now. They're staying home in their homes for the large part. The encouraging news, though, is we're going to start seeing that shift, I think, as we get into the spring, and we're already seeing a little bit. There's been quite a bit of high-rise activity as of the last couple of weeks. I've seen traffic pick up.
Great, and a lot of people moving from out of state, Randy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of people moving out of state, not just California, but many other areas, looking at Las Vegas as a residence.
We love that, right?
Absolutely.
We love people coming from all over. Now moving forward to the high-rise analysis. So we've identified 9 high-rise on and off the Strip. So they are Waldorf Astoria, Park Towers, Veer, 1 Queensbridge Place, The Martin, Turnberry Tower, Panorama, Turnberry Place, and Sky Las Vegas. So now moving on to our high-rise analysis, and I actually rank these high-rises based on the average price per square foot. Just to give you an example, on the top of the list is the Waldorf Astoria, located inside the city center. Beautiful property, right? You're
Absolutely.
Right there on the Strip, at the heart of the Strip, walking distance to Aria, other casinos nearby. And there's currently 31 units available. We see, Park Towers, Veer, 1 Queensbridge Place. However, based on the average price of units sold in 2020, 1 Queensbridge Place, where we are right now today, is ranked 3rd. So can you talk about that, Randy?
Well, sure. I mean, it's no secret, Waldorf Astoria, because of its location, and obviously it's a 5-star residence, you're going to see the average price points high. I think in here it's looking at 2.9 on the market and 2.3 as far as the units that are sold. Park Towers close behind. Park Towers is very intimate. There's only 84 residences there, so it doesn't produce a ton of the city's activity, but it's always been one of the highest priced buildings, and deservingly so. It's a great place.
Okay.
1 Queensbridge is probably the 3rd. It is the 3rd highest in terms of the average price. It's sold at 1.6, it looks like, last year, and currently on the market at 1.6, about average price. The difference is that if 1 Queensbridge was on the Strip, it would probably be, maybe the top or or at least right up there. The reason why is that the land just isn't as expensive out here. However, from a luxurious or kind of how it comes off, it's probably the most amenitized building. It definitely has some of the largest average size residences. You know, the average place here is like that of almost a, of a home. It's 3,500. Look at this place. Look at the kitchen here. It just doesn't look like your average condo kitchen. So that's what you're seeing with One Queensbridge. Of course, Veer in there, high price per square foot, but smaller places. So slightly different clientele, but obviously very, very centrally located to the RA Casino and Crystal Shopping Mall, so very good location there. In terms of some of the others, what do we have here? We have the Martin, Turnberry Towers, Panorama, and Sky Las Vegas along with Turnberry Place. Those are all going to be kind of that next tier down, I would say. So a combination of affordability and luxury. Some of them are more amenitized, some have great locations, but you can see here the average price points are quite different. Absolutely, and we have several listings at the Sky Las Vegas, and I've done a lot of videos to show you, the units at Sky Las Vegas, most recently the unit 4102, spectacular, almost a penthouse level, beautiful, stunning views of the South Strip. And I think Sky Las Vegas, you get a lot of value for the average square foot that you could get, especially on the Las Vegas Strip. Yeah, arguably Sky is probably the best value Las Vegas Boulevard address that you can find that commands some phenomenal strip views. I mean, you can buy a 2-bedroom, 1,400 to 1,700 square feet in the $500,000 or so range that has a phenomenal view, panoramic view, and it's on Las Vegas Boulevard. Tough to beat that. So potentially some people say it's good value today, but there's many that also argue that the future is coming to that location a little bit more. Absolutely, with so much activity there, the developments like the Resorts World opening this summer, which I'm super excited about. Can't wait to go to the opening with you. Yeah, so for those investors out there, maybe it's something to take a peek at. Absolutely, I think that's a great opportunity. Fantastic. I see here, Randy, the Martin, the current available, it's at the average is 1.57, and then also Panorama at over $1 million, which is obviously not usually that high, right? So when I pull these stats, it looks like there's obviously an outlier. So for the Martin, there's currently a listing at 18 million. It's one of their penthouses, and then the Panorama at 15 million. Right, those were large. I remember these. These were large. They call them gray shells, that they took the whole, top floor and more or less built it out, and now it's presented on the market. So it's a very large place. But the average price point, it's around $496 and $542 for Panorama. Right about $500,000 is kind of where there is. But one thing I will mention about both of those is it's on the same side of the street as Raider Stadium. Right. And it's very convenient, but it's not on the strip. So when you want to get in and out of there, sometimes it's a little bit easier to navigate. Yes. And they still have great amenities. I mean, Panorama has a limo service to the airport for yourself. Yes. Some of them have like a little restaurant close by downstairs, or the gyms are great. Yes. So those two are really phenomenal buildings in terms of location. And when the Raiders come back, T-Mobile comes back, they're going to be situated as a very good value, maybe relative to the Veer and Waldorf Astorias of the world. Absolutely. So actually, this is a great segue into our amenities. So here you can see all the different high-rises and the different amenities. You talked about the chauffeured car service. So Panorama and the Martin offers that. So that's obviously a great amenity to have, right? Airport pickup or to and from the strip close by. There's obviously some high-rises that offer stunning fitness centers. You talk about that. I think, in my opinion, the Martin has a phenomenal fitness gym. Yeah, it's like a hotel, right? Amenity. It's almost like a hotel gym. Yeah. Fantastic. And then some high-rises offer tennis courts, like the Park Towers. That's because it's obviously off the strip, right? It's at the Howard Hughes Center, Park Towers. They even have a salon in there, too. Oh, they do? I don't know if you know that, but no, I didn't know that. Awesome. And then, yes, you mentioned, some places have restaurants or cafes. So these are fantastic amenities to have. And I know currently some are still closed, but once everything picks up and opens up, these are fantastic amenities for that high-rise Las Vegas lifestyle that people are craving for. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always important when you're recommending a high-rise to a client, it's really important to understand, what do you value? I mean, are you a fitness buff? Do you want to be in a place where you can walk to restaurants and things of that nature? peace of mind important in terms of your security. Knowing those things, I think, will help give you a better sense of what might fit you better. And so it's important when you are shopping for a high-rise really to look for someone that's an expert in that area, I believe, because it's a more complicated product. I mean, it's complicated in the financing aspects, the rules and regulations are things to consider. Is there a CD claim? Does a building have troubles? How is it managed? What's the DNA of how it was built and who's it catered to? These are all very important things, and proudly, this is a niche of the market that we've been very, very passionate about.
Yes.
Typically, we're in the top 3 of the entire city of volume producing. In fact, the last 2 years, we've sold a little bit over $50 million just in high-rise alone. So this is definitely an area of our expertise and things that we like to talk about.
Fantastic, yes, and absolutely. You're working with a team that's so knowledgeable with that experience is very, very critical. So if you're interested in any high-rises in Las Vegas, please comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Like and comments are greatly appreciated, and we'll obviously engage in those. Any other last words, Randy?
It's going to be an exciting year. I think what's important in the high-rise aspect is what's ahead. Are we going to continue this same trend where people are kind of migrating out of tight quarters and into single-family homes? But as the single-family homes keep rising, especially in the luxury market, does high-rise become more of a value? And do the people that live out of town that were kind of hibernating per se for a little while, are they going to come back like they were in the past? So I'm very excited to see what the rest of the year holds. But if you ask me, I think we're going to see definitely a pickup as we progress through the seasons.
Awesome. So what did you all think about this video, and what do you think about this stunning kitchen, by the way? I'd love to cook here, prepare some Japanese meals here. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you subscribe, comment, and like. And please make sure you hit that notification bell so you're made aware of my weekly new content. And thank you again for watching. This is Kaori Nagao, your Las Vegas lifestyle specialist.